The concept behind this photo is death, and there are many different elements in this photo that represent or portray death. The first thing I see in this is this very geometric wooden bench that is in the foreground. Its wood seems to be older or weathered. The horizontal lines created by the seat and back rest carry the viewer from one side of the image to the other and then to the background. Once you look at the background where the leafless trees meet the sky, then you notice the amount of death that is in the picture. There are only a couple of plants that are green. 90% of the trees and the bushes are dead or leafless, implying that it's winter time. There are many bushes on either side of the bench, but it's hard to focus on them because of how strong the focal point of the bench is. You don't even notice how dead or leafless these bushes are. After you circle the image from the foreground and the bench to the background where the trees are, it's only then that you notice the small plaque on the back of the bench. And it also implies the theme of death. It's an in honor of plaque, so the bench is dedicated to a person who has passed, and it's dedicated by two others that share that person's love for rose bushes, which is what is on either side of the bench. After you read the plaque, only can you realize what kind of bushes these are. There are leaves all scattered around underneath of the bench, and the flowers are nowhere to be seen on these small bushes. So in the foreground, on the ground, it is very death and decay. But the image is supposed to be about death, and my initial reaction was not negative or dark or anything associated with death. In fact, I had to really dig into the details of the composition to see the theme. The colors are too vivid, and he took this photo during the day with a lot of light. But when you think of death and you imagine dark and ominous and decay, I would have made this image black and white, or edit the colors so that there is a better feeling of death by just glancing at it. The grass and the sky are very bright colors, so it distracts you from the theme. It kind of gives it a happy feel, and you wouldn't notice that death is what is supposed to be focused on in this. Another thing that I would change is the angle, so that there's absolutely zero green or life in the entire image. He could also portray death a little better by making the bushes and the bench in the foreground focused, and the background out of focus, so the viewer is seeing the major symbols for death, which rely mostly in the foreground with the bushes and the bench and the leaves on the ground.